presents Hell in a Cell.
Crazy to think that we got 14 entire editions of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and we're once again stuck in the position where there's only one Hell in a Cell match for the entire event. I'm not complaining too much because we had like 15 Cell matches last year alone, but still, should probably rename this event. Also, I never thought I'd be doing this, but I'm bringing back the familiar 60 sin penalty for the world champion not defending on pay-per-view. In this case, it's Roman Reigns. Normally I'd give it a 30 sin penalty, but since Roman holds 2 world titles, that's where the doubling comes from. Double champion, but doesn't even bother to defend either of them on pay-per-view until freaking SummerSlam. He really has become Brock Lesnar. Also, I get that this event was absolutely spectacular, but WWE really has got to work on making the build-up to their pay-per-views just as spectacular as the execution. Lack of interest in the product is likely why they had to cancel the reservation with Allegiant Stadium next month.
So, here we are again.
Even the discount Liam Neeson narrator is bored with the fact that we've had endless Hell in a Cell matches in less than a year.
Send both of your asses straight to hell.
By not doing that whatsoever, a simple win in a handicap match somehow sends MVP and Omos straight to hell, and you couldn't have at least made this match a Hell in a Cell match to make Bobby Lashley's statement make sense. I mean, come on, it's Ozzy Osbourne. Why wouldn't I remove a sin for this amazing song? Rosemont, not Chicago, get it right. Get a nice look at the structure known as Hell in a Cell, because we ain't gonna see it for over 2.5 hours. Enjoy Not So Hell in a Cell.
I didn't recognize myself anymore.
I lost my title, so I will fall into a deep depression and no longer recognize who I am anymore, cliche.
No one is ready!
Given how many wrestlers have defeated Asuka throughout the last 4 years, I'd say that everyone is ready for Asuka at this point in time. She may want to change up her catchphrase since it only worked when she was undefeated. Man, I miss those days.
All 3 superstars will start inside the ring at the same time.
In case we somehow do not know how a triple threat match works. Even new fans could easily guess that all 3 had to compete at once. So it looks to me like Asuka is a mix of both Kairi Sane and Jason Voorhees. Not gonna lie, it's an awesome design. I'm honestly more surprised that hashtag lacking Hell in a Cell isn't the #1 trend given the circumstances of this pay-per-view event. What the fuck? Asuka and Bianca Belair worked as a team to throw Becky Lynch out of the ring, so naturally the next thing to do would be to stare at each other instead of fighting, allowing Becky to recover and ruin this confrontation.
The Raw Women's Championship.
Because Asuka was delayed, Bianca had to look around and wonder when the hell she was going to show up to jump off her back.
Kick out from the champ.
Heel wrestler fails to pin one of her opponents, then goes to pin the other opponent, which also fails, cliche.
Such a mentally...
Ow, my hand! This somehow has knocked me out of commission for the next few minutes of the match.
And you booed me at SummerSlam.
Well, what did Becky think was going to happen? She sucker punched Bianca at SummerSlam, then beat her within seconds. Granted, I don't think Bianca was buried unlike some dumbass podcast idiots, but the frustration was understandable.
Avenue champion.
Bianca Belair was clearly conscious enough to look around and wonder where Asuka is, and if she was conscious, then why didn't she kick out of the pinfall? Another moment of Asuka being delayed. Meanwhile, on this far side of the arena.
Asuka wants the Asuka lock. Think about...
Damn, that was a fast counter from the Asuka lock. Asuka went from locking in her submission to being pinned down by Becky Lynch in less than a second. That was awesome.
Original plans will resume.
This would look badass, except for the fact that Asuka's head is entirely protected by the turnbuckle, and Becky is not even being whacked by Bianca at all. Bianca Belair should probably realize that merely pointing at her opponent isn't going to help her win the match. Plus, it's very rude to point.
Now going after Bianca Belair.
Bianca's shoulder came off the mat so many times, I'm legitimately curious as to why the referee completely ignored it and continued counting.
Belair kicked with it.
Becky Lynch's left leg is the one that was injured in Asuka's ankle lock, and she was clearly seen hobbling with it in the air. But all of a sudden, she has no problem putting her full body weight on it when she tries to kick Bianca in the gut with her good leg. I guess when you marry Seth Rollins, you obtain his inability to sell injuries.
Uh-oh is right.
Bianca Belair also has an injured left leg, mind you.
Back in the mix.
Nice. Even if Asuka was aiming for Becky Lynch, to see Becky roll through in time to get out of the way and let Bianca take the kick was awesome to watch. Great timing.
Lynch on the apron. Oh,
Bianca Belair wasn't even hit in Asuka's attack, yet still fell off the apron despite clearly not losing any balance. It is so weird to see a near 4-minute long promo hyping up Roman Reigns, the undisputed Universal Champion, when he's not even relevant tonight, nor will he be relevant for the next pay-per-view either. This is so wrong on many levels.
Once you get the ref, I'm gonna do what I do best. I come behind.
Cedric Alexander struggling to stay away from the budget cut section of the WWE is just sad to watch. You can literally feel the desperation from this great talent. If you were to tell me that I had to deal with 3 pay-per-views in a row and featuring Bobby Lashley versus Omos in the second match of the night, I'd actually believe you at this point. This graphic for Bobby Lashley is obviously fun, as we've seen throughout 2021. The only issue nowadays is it's put on the screen while Bobby is actually on the stage, and when the wrestlers are actually making their entrance, I want to see them.
One of the best strategists.
Heel wrestler starts off match, circles around his opponent a few times, and then tags out Cliche. Before the bell even rang for this handicap match to begin, I saw that coming.
Around his waist like it.
Omos is technically tapping out right there, and the referee did nothing about it. Bobby Lashley has teased so many times that he can suplex Omos on his own and never goes through with it at the end. What a shame. All that build-up for nothing.
Snake eyes in the turnbuckle.
Because Bobby wasn't in position for Omos to connect a big boot, Omos had to resort to a collision that didn't look that good. Come on, Bobby. You gotta admit that Omos is impressive and quick for someone his size. Managed to catch himself and not fall atop Bobby Lashley upon the crash through the barricade.
Multiple times here.
And this is brilliant.
MVP has unsuccessfully pinned Bobby several times in a row, and yet he's pissed off at the referee for that. Somehow. If he's a veteran, he'd know that the first failed pin means the rest will fail too.
Cedric Alexander.
I'm all out of fucks to give about Cedric Alexander trying to stay relevant in this picture. Sorry, but I don't care for desperation. If you get cut from the budget, it's simply your destiny. Bobby Lashley holds up a replica of the WWE Championship to show to Roman Reigns that he wants that title back, so naturally the next thing he does is go after Theory and the United States Championship, making this moment completely pointless. I bet the only reason we're hyping up the main event now is because we have to keep reminding everyone that this pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell and none of the other matches have anything to do with the cage.
Ezekiel.
Since this is the first WWE since I can mention it, the personality and storyline of the Ezekiel character is freaking awesome, and you don't know comedy if you don't like it. Watch people take that personally. Somebody showed this sign to Kevin Owens so that he could go on another tirade of where Elias is.
Ezekiel from the top.
I guarantee that the elbow drop from the top rope was a shot at those who actually thought Ezekiel was going to be a Macho Man Randy Savage ripoff because of his outfit when it leaked online.
On one. Now he's feeling
That's
the difference.
gotta be it.
Corey Graves believes that Ezekiel is going to lose to one single DDT from Kevin Owens. Can Corey honestly go back to his entertaining ways of commentating back in 2016? Matter of fact, can everything go back to 2016 again?
Check this agility out.
Agreed, Corey. Kevin Owens continues to amaze me at how agile he is for someone his size. He does that second rope moonsault better than a lot of the cruiserweights these days.
Owens is still suffering from an emotional hangover from Stone Cold.
I highly doubt Kevin Owens is suffering from an emotional hangover by his loss to Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38, which was 2 months ago. Corey Graves continuing with the excuses is annoying me.
Finally finished Kevin Owens.
I know it's hard to hear, but I gotta take a sin off for the creativity of the crowd's chant. Some are chanting, he's Elias, and the others are chanting, no, he's not. Fucking love it. Mixed tag match or not, this match is an example of what should have been contested inside Hell in a Cell. Could you imagine the carnage that we could have had? Shame. The Judgment Day's non-pyro-pyro. Great, now I gotta add that group to the list of wrestlers in the non-pyro-pyro sin, headlined of course by Ryback. Liv Morgan's Titantron already has her name on it, so the logical thing to do would be to add her name in CGI too. Now her name is Liv for the night. Honestly, given how violent this match could become, I think the better option would have been to turn this into a tornado mixed tag team match, or throw in a no-holds-barred stipulation, I don't know. Especially if this is the culminating match between Edge and AJ Styles following WrestleMania. Here's what doesn't make sense about this moment. Rhea Ripley didn't tag out, so what is stopping Liv Morgan from continuing the onslaught? Long as the women are legal, she can continue to go after Rhea. Also, about 30 seconds of Liv teasing who she is going to tag into the match.
Moved by Finn Balor.
If you noticed, Rhea Ripley immediately dropped from the apron as if Finn Balor was going to hit her, when we all know that wasn't ever going to happen. If anything, that gives Rhea the advantage to stop Finn from escaping the Judgment Day's corner.
Oh!
Jeez, that chop was so loud, if I were looking down at my phone during this moment, I could have sworn Gunther suddenly showed up and started attacking everyone. What a shot. What I gotta give Edge credit for is selling the effects of the phenomenal forearm. Even after Damian Priest broke up the pinfall and no one's been in the ring for a whole minute, Edge is still knocked unconscious. Most wrestlers these days would suddenly be back to their feet in 10 seconds. Learn from Edge, guys.
Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley tagged in.
It makes for a cool hot tag moment, but it becomes awkward when Liv Morgan is automatically the legal competitor before AJ Styles had a chance to tag her in.
Loyalty. Ripley hook.
Why didn't you just simply go for a regular suplex?
Styles. Balor.
Even with the 1000 action movie style close-up camera switches, you could clearly see Rhea Ripley having to move forward to get hit because Liv Morgan got caught on the ropes in the suicide dive attempt, and that's sadly not the first time it's happened to Liv. One would think she would reconsider doing that. Honestly, if I were Finn Balor, I'd just go for it. I get that Rhea Ripley is a female, but she's a participant in this match, and a male wrestler can't be disqualified for hitting a female wrestler. Or at least leap over Rhea and aim for Edge. No one shall move out of the way in fear. The Judgment Day wins because Finn was too scared to take a risk and attack Rhea, who previously already kicked him in the head a minute ago. Also, after this loss, Finn Balor decides to take over the group and somehow convinces them to take out Edge, which destroys any momentum Judgment Day ever had.
I'm getting sick of being treated like an unwanted twerp.
So watch me continue to be treated like an unwanted twerp right after this segment. Come check me out on Main Event later this week.
Madcap Moss.
Modcat Moss. Also, we're in an event called Hell in a Cell, and even if this feud hasn't been that entertaining, we couldn't put this match inside the cage, just using a simple no-holds-barred stipulation? Well, alright then. Also, that one awkward moment when you realize that this match between Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin is literally the only match to take place from the SmackDown brand. Everything else was a Raw match. This event could actually be classified as a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. Boy, I miss those days.
Pat McAfee is off tonight.
Pat McAfee not being on the commentary team is a sin now. I get that it's just this one match, but it's a sin, damn it!
Corbin no holds barred.
With a no-holds-barred match comes the commentators always stating how it's a no-holds-barred match, and that is the other reason why I requested this match to be a Hell in a Cell match, so I wouldn't have to hear the constant reminders, but I have been made to suffer on here.
The power of Moss.
We interrupt Hell in a Cell 2022 to bring you that one edition of Monday Night Raw when Braun Strowman threw that chair at Roman Reigns in a Last Man Standing match. I remember that very well since I was there. Fun show.
What a choke!
That choke slam from the apron would only look brutal if Madcap Moss was actually slammed onto the apron itself, but when Happy Corbin is on the outside delivering it to the canvas, then it doesn't look all that impressive.
Oh, and Madcap!
If there was any perfect time for an Out My Hands sin, that was the moment right there. Holy crap, that was terrible.
Corbin is kicked another chip.
Gotta give Happy Corbin credit here. He knows the fans want to see tables involved, so he toys with them by bringing out additional chairs instead. Excellent heel work.
And now Corbin!
Wrestler who sets up a chair in the corner tends to be the one who ends up going through a cliche.
Look at this! With a chair around them!
Man, remember the days when CM Punk would do that to Jeff Hardy and it would cause him to miss a week because of selling a neck injury? Nowadays, when wrestlers do that, their opponents recover within minutes and doesn't feel any after effects of the later weeks.
Wouldn't it?
Alright, at least this match ended with some form of brutality when Madcap crushed Happy's neck with the stairs onto the chair. Hey, no one likes a rhymer, Christian. Great, now I'm talking to myself. Thought he quit.
He actually asked me to put you on mute, but I told him that's not an ability I have.
If I could honestly put both Corey Graves and Byron Saxton on mute while watching these events, then I would. Oh wait, I have a remote for that.
You alright? Yeah, are you alright?
Almost the entirety of this 10-minute match is Corey and Byron constantly arguing back and forth, so let's throw in 5 sins. I'm too tired to deal with their bullshit.
This is ruthless aggression.
As if WWE couldn't be any more obvious that they intend to have Theory take on John Cena in the future, here is Corey Graves mentioning ruthless aggression. Hey, John Cena said that when he debuted. Feud confirmed.
May have hurt that left knee.
Mustafa Ali unfortunately reacted too late and couldn't get his foot up in time to hit a super kick on Theory. Theory's lucky he didn't suffer a major injury from that collision. Yikes. Alright, I gotta admit that was impressive. Theory is a fantastic athlete for sure at his young age. This kid's got a bright future that I hopefully didn't just jinx.
A-Town!
Perhaps if you don't waste time taunting the crowd and shouting A-Town down, then you probably would have defeated Mustafa by now.
Saxton, Theory sliding your girl's DMs.
Byron Saxton would actually need a girl in the first place for Theory to slide into her DMs at all. Pay-per-view event titled Hell in a Cell takes over 2 hours and 30 minutes of a 3-hour show to start Hell in a Celling. I absolutely love the mind games of Seth Rollins by wearing the polka dot gear of Dusty Rhodes. I'll remove a sin now, but definitely would have removed 5 sins if he actually entered to the American Dream's Common Man theme song. I didn't ever think that I'd call myself a fan of Cody Rhodes until this moment right here. The fact that Cody is competing inside Hell in a Cell with a ruptured pectoral muscle, the visual of which is gruesome, shows that dude deserves all the praise. Here are 50 sins taken away. The dedication is unmatched. Nearly every move Cody Rhodes does in this match made me cringe in pain. You don't even have to see his face to know how much pain he's in. That's how scary this main event truly is.
Rollins, this is it.
I would say that Seth Rollins should know better than to think that pulling the ropes will break a hold inside Hell in a Cell, but then I was reminded of what happened in 2019, and he probably believes he could do that again.
Look for some help under the ring.
WWE really wants to remind us of the time Seth Rollins faced the Fiend inside Hell in a Cell, don't they?
Oh, the kendo stick.
Really? You had a bunch of metal tools at your disposal and you think, nah, let's keep looking for a kendo stick instead.
Cody Rhodes.
Sure, this definitely would hurt Cody a lot, but Seth isn't even close to pressing against the ruptured pectoral muscle. Probably shouldn't have zoomed in on that. Seth Rollins figures this event needs to surpass 3 hours, so it's time to spend the next minute or two wearing Cody's jacket and parading around like a kid on Halloween. Brilliant! Seth should probably know that Cody is practically immune to belt lashes at this point. Just ask MJF over in AEW. Oh wait, you can't. You know the fans are obsessed with tables when they start thanking the bad guy for bringing them out.
Oh, wow.
I won't lie, I love the callback to the Rhodes family using bull ropes. It's amazing how much effort WWE really puts into their pay-per-view executions. Just wish they could do the same for their build-ups, then it'd be 10 times better. Winner of Hell in a Cell 2022 to bring you Hell in a Cell 2020, when Roman Reigns and Jey Uso went from a Hell in a Cell I Quit match to a Hell in a Cell strap match inside Hell in a Cell. I don't know why, but it was just funny hearing that little bonk noise when Seth got hit in the head with a cowbell.
Spirit is wrong.
Painful as that would have looked, Seth released Cody's arm before he could actually wrench it down, and thus nothing bad happened to the arm, and somehow it did. A ruptured pectoral muscle, so much punishment delivered, and now a powerbomb into a table set up in the corner. Man, Cody Rhodes really is a, no pun intended, nightmare in all the best ways. Come on, the moment Seth Rollins pulled out the sledgehammer, you guys also got anxious amidst the horror memories of 2019 when he pulled it out against The Fiend. Since Seth Rollins has adopted the pedigree into his own arsenal, then it qualifies as copyright frickin' infringement. My god, how can you not be amazed at this shit? Cody Rhodes truly is the big deal here in WWE. It's a shame he has to recover from his injury for pretty much the rest of 2022, but here's to hoping we see big-time WrestleMania plans. Perhaps another match with Seth, except with a world title on the line? I can dream. Until then, though, here are 20 cents taken out to end the video.